And that's the important thing about books beyond words, although there is a story in there. And today we're going to be talking about what's the story that we want to try and put across here. The most important thing is the story that people tell for themselves when they read the books, or when they read a picture, or when they share that picture with other people in a book group and listen to what other people's stories are. We don't use the book to say, look, this is what you should think about, what you should do. We use the book to help the person say what they are thinking and what they are feeling. And that's what the books do very well, that simply asking people direct questions doesn't do very well. So if I, as a psychiatrist, sit down with someone in outpatient and say, so tell me how you've been feeling then, have you been feeling depressed or whatever, sometimes it's very difficult for people to talk like that or get the right words. If I sit down with a book and say, tell me what you see, what's happening in that picture, what do you think that person's doing, how do you think they feel, what happens next? Have you ever felt like that? When did you last feel like that? What happened to make you feel like that? You get a much better conversation. People are much better able to talk about themselves and their experience.
Yeah. So just in practical terms, the first one would happen when Mike's finished his first round of drawings, so probably black and white drawings. We'd sit down with lots of other people who have worked with people around weight loss, and we'd look at them all together and think about the first sort of changes that might happen. And so that would be probably not for a couple of months, depending how long the pictures take. And then the second meeting would happen after the trialing. So when everyone's gone away and trialled the pictures with different groups, and we've put together all their feedback and thought, what does this mean? What's working? What needs to change? Then we'd have another editorial advisory group meeting and sit down and look at all of that feedback and look at the pictures again and have another list of changes for Mike to do. So those are the two kind of practical things that we want you guys to be involved in. But obviously we'll want you to be as involved as you want to be during all of the rest of the process as well.
People with learning disabilities who wants to lose weight, and if they want to lose weight, they should eat more fruit, salads, vegetables, and cut. I would say
pasta.
Yeah, pasta and stuff like that. And
cut out all the
junk food,
sweet stuff and
sweets, crisps,
yeah. Coke.
But isn't that interesting that people might not know what has a lot of sugar in it and what doesn't?
I think that's just a really important point, just to clarify right at the outset. And thanks for bringing that up in that way, Kaz, because you're quite right. The book is there for people. People are going to read it. I mean, people who want to lose weight.
So in terms of the story, does that mean that we want to tell the story of somebody who wants to lose weight and show how they do it?
Yeah.
When I worked on the notion of an idea that Becky sent me, so I was thinking about the girl in those pictures, the woman in those pictures, is, one gets the feeling she's living on her own, but, she's got her own place. She's got a cat. I thought the cat was, Becky didn't mention a cat, but I thought, as an artist, give you another prop for the pictures, like in the last shot when she's comfortably watching her TV at night and the cat's sort of asleep on the back of the sofa. It wasn't somebody that's, what Becky pointed out was you didn't want, I can't remember your exact words, but the notion was somebody that isn't seen to be, a sort of total pariah or some recluse. They've actually they've got a life, but they're kind of living it in a solitary way. I could as easily have made this person in a couple situation, but I think it was important for me just to try and get a handle on the personality for a character.
I think what's really nice about those pictures, though, is as well as that she lives in a nice place. She's not messy. She's not.
Yeah.
She's clean. She's not messy. She kind of keeps the house looking nice. We're not saying, oh, she's a bit overweight, so she must be a slob. She's somebody that we can say, oh, she looks like a nice person. I can identify with her. Not sort of say, oh, I don't like that character. That wouldn't happen to me. That's not like me.
But I think you're right that the cat makes her look, kind of welcoming, and like she's looking after a pet very, very well. And then I agree with you that you don't want to make the person look like a slob. Really, this is about managing your weight, isn't it? It's about finding that a problem. I just wondered if we could, and I don't know if this is going to be possible in a picture format, but we talked about all of the good things that you get at the end when you've lost the weight, and we're thinking about the bad things that happen when you do have a lot of weight, particularly being out of breath, not having the energy. But also I wondered how we could portray potential medical issues in there. For example, high blood pressure or diabetes. And I know there's a book on diabetes, but maybe an encounter with the doctor where he's kind of looking sternly or maybe looks concerned.
How difficult was it to lose weight? And how was it an easy process? Was it a frustrating process? Were there times when you really got fed up with it and thought, I don't want to do this anymore? Are there times when you thought, oh yes, we really got hold of it?
At the beginning, it was easy because we lost 8 pounds in the first week. But then after that, it got harder. And then they set us like goal targets. We had to do gold, silver, bronze awards, which was like basically walking, cycling, going up and down steps, everything. But we achieved it.
Which makes me wonder whether that's part of the story that we tell, that shows how sometimes it can be difficult.
Yeah, sometimes it can be.
And maybe you feel as if it's too hard.
And what makes you keep going?
And then what happens?
Well,
what can happen to help?
Sometimes it did feel a bit hard for us, didn't it?
Yeah. And if it felt hard, what did you do?
We sorted it out.
How?
Yeah.
Did you talk to friends or?
No, we just spoke to each other.
So the two of you, the fact that the two of you were doing that together, was that really important?
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe we need to find a name for now, because we're starting to talk about her, I think her, quite a lot.
Have you got a name you like?
Rose.
Oh,
Rose.
So we'll go for Rose, shall we? Yeah.